What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back, everyone. This is Lee, and today we'll be talking about 3 V-mount batteries for your Nikon Z8. So, with all that said, let's begin. So right before we get started, I just want to point out that WiMaxIt, they did send this V-mount battery to me for evaluation. Also, Andycine also sent this battery to me for evaluation. And also, the FXLION, I bought this during the chip shortage. So with all that in mind, let's talk about price. Now for the FXLION, this unit costs roughly around 280 USD, whereas the Andycine comes in roughly around 160 USD. And also for the WiMaxIt, it comes around 130 USD. And as you can see, there's 3 different price brackets, but we'll take a look at the performance later on in this video. Now, in terms of the weight, the Andycine weighs about 553 grams, whereas the WiMaxIt weighs about 535 grams, and the FXLION weighs about 516 grams, which means that the FXLION is the lightest one. But obviously, you guys are thinking if it's the lightest one, it probably contains the least amount of power. So we'll definitely see that when we get into the power portion of this test. Now, as for the power ports, all 3 sports a BP port at the bottom of the V-mount. That's very common, but let's take a look at each individual V-mount battery port. Here's the WiMaxIt. The WiMaxIt has 2 D-taps, 1 USB-A and 1 USB-C. And also for the WiMaxIt, the power is always on, so you don't need to click on any switches to turn on the power. Now, for the FXLION sports a 1 D-tap, 1 USB-A, 1 USB-C, and 1 micro USB. And also, just like the WiMaxIt, the FXLION, the power is always on, so you don't need to select any button to turn it on. It's just always on. Now, for the Andycine sports a 2 D-tap, 1 USB-A, 1 USB-C, and 1 DC port. Now, unlike these 2 batteries right here, this power is not always on. If you want to activate the USB-C, you need to select the blue button right here, and then click the DC button twice to activate the volt that you want. And then once you select the volt that you want, you just hit the USB, click on, and that's it. And that's how you turn on the USB-C for your V-mount. So that's just some, I guess, caveat for the Andycine. Now here is a close-up to all 3 LCD screens. As you can clearly see, the FXLION is missing the percentage marker, whereas the WiMaxIt and Andycine do have the percentage. And as for charging, you could use a micro USB or a USB-C cable to charge up your FXLION. Now, when using a D-tap, it doesn't charge, it seems, so it's kind of weird. I don't know why it doesn't charge with a D-tap. It's such an expensive battery, but yeah, just want to point that out. Now, for the WiMaxIt, you could charge it up with a USB-C cable or a D-tap. For the Andycine right here, this is only D-tap charge. You cannot charge this up with the USB-C. So keep that in perspective. Now with all those features out the way, let's talk about capacity, because if you're buying a V-mount battery, you're either doing time-lapse or doing video recording. Now, in this test, I had nothing but the Nikon Z8 recording the wall without no autofocus. There's no monitor. There's no audio equipment, just plain Jane Nikon Z8 recording the wall with my Sabrent CF Express card. And my format is H.265, 10-bit, MOV, 24p, 4K. And here are my results. Now for the FXLION, I got roughly around 10 hours and 15 minutes. For the WiMaxIt, I got 11 hours and 53 minutes. And for the Andycine, I got a whopping 12 hours and 42 minutes. Now, let's take a look at the charge time though. For the FXLION, using a USB-C cable, it took about 5 hours and 30 minutes to charge up the FXLION. For the WiMaxIt, it took 9 hours and 45 minutes with the USB-C cable to charge up the battery. And as for the Andycine, for the D-tap, it took about 7 hours and 30 minutes for charging. So just wrap things up, all 3 batteries have its pros and cons, so let's talk about it now. For the Andycine right here, this battery has the most capacity than the competition right here. Also, this battery has the most outputs, more than the competition right here. But some of the downside to the Andycine is that USB-C is not always on. You need to turn it on every time. So that's a hassle in my book. I think it's an easy fix for Andycine if they do a new version of this battery and just have this always on. That'd be great. And this is only D-tap charge only. You cannot charge this up with USB-C. So keep that in perspective. Now let's talk about the WiMaxIt. The WiMaxIt is the cheapest one from the bunch. This is 130 bucks. It comes with always on power. Now, the downside to this battery is that it takes a long time to charge up, but 130 bucks and it has more power than the FXLION. I think that this is quite a bargain out there on the market, so keep that in perspective. Now as for the FXLION, I just want to point this out before I slay this one down. I bought this 2 years ago during the chip shortage. Keep that in perspective. Now, with that in mind, this is the most expensive one from the bunch at 280 bucks. You could buy 2 of this almost. You could buy almost 3 of this almost. So yeah, that's crazy. Also, this is the least capacity from the bunch. And that's the dagger to this battery. This does not supply enough power than the cheaper option, which is kind of sad in my honest opinion. But then again, like I said, I bought this 2 years ago during the chip shortage, and during that time, none of this existed. None of it did. So this was good when I bought it. In today's market, there's a lot of competition when it comes to V-mount. Now, with that said, the only pro in the FXLION is micro USB. If you have a bunch of those cables, this is a battery for you. This doesn't have it. This doesn't have it. So with all that said, thank you guys for checking me back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely click like and subscribe. And I guess I'll see you guys next one, all right? Take it easy. Peace. So now that everyone is gone, let me give you guys my personal opinion on all 3 batteries. Number 1, the Andycine, great battery, really good. It's sold out, it's gone. I'm trying to find links for it now. It's gone because I did this review with my R5C. This gives a lot of power than a $300 battery, $280 battery, right? But even though I point out about the USB-C issue, you know, you gotta click like 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. No one cares. People are gonna buy it. They will get around that. So this is definitely the best battery for your money. Now, the WiMaxIt, this is for those, you know, if you're like doing short spurts of B-roll filming, short spurts of time lapse, go with this. USB-C is always on at 130 bucks. Great deal right there, right? Also, this battery, mind you, has more power than this battery. Mind blown. This battery right here at 280 bucks, it's a ripoff. I'm sorry, it's a ripoff. FXLION, change your pricing. Do something. We're talking about power here. At the end of the day, I could get my project done with the WiMaxIt at more than half the price of your battery. So that's just mind blowing right there. I don't know how am I supposed to push a product like this in today's climate, but back in 2 years ago, very easy because this was like the only battery on the market that was offering all these features. But currently right now we have competition. So in other words, stay away from FXLION for now. Look at their new products down the road, check their pricing. But today's climate, definitely these 130 buck battery, $160 batteries are well worth it for your projects. So with all that said, thank you guys again. I'll see you guys in the next one, all right? Take it easy. Peace.